One sunny September morning in 1988, a man called Gerald Hafina was out tending to his lawn in a quiet Georgian neighbourhood when the tranquillity of the morning was ruined by the sound of a flashy car tearing through the neighbourhood with the police in hot pursuit. Now, this alone would have been enough to leave most people's jaws on the floor, but the reason Gerald was so shocked was because the man behind the steering wheel was none other than the Godfather of Funk himself, James Brown. The man's world musician was always a daring performer, even managing to outdo the Rolling Stones on the Tammy Show with his explosive energy. But by the 1980s, the answer as to where he got his almost superhuman and never-ending energy from was becoming more and more clear. By the time the 1980s swung into the picture, the Godfather of Funk was looking a bit less like a grooving Don Vito Corleone and more like a dysfunctional Tony Montana. The hits were drying up, IRS disputes had collapsed his business empire, and he was now barely involved with his songs, let alone functioning as one of the greatest songwriters in history. It seemed Mr. Dynamite was finally set to explode. His tumultuous times finally came to the fore that fateful sunny morning in September. And the nature of the incident that got James Brown incarcerated is pretty bizarre. Now, at this point, his business empire was starting to struggle, but his offices remained somewhat of a personal sanctuary. And this became very obvious when he stormed into the insurance company next door, allegedly high on PCP, and accused them of using his personal toilet. Now, this would have just been a HR issue if he hadn't produced a shotgun and started waving it around too. And by the time the police arrived, it was clear he wasn't going to slow down. With his very keen knowledge of the office layout, he fled from police through the back door, jumped into his car, and tyres squealing, led them on a high-speed chase through South Carolina and Georgia, and past Gerald. And at one point, he actually tried to ram his truck through a police cordon. As a result, the police shot out 2 of his tyres, but he somehow miraculously managed to crawl on for 6 more miles just on the rims before eventually grinding to a halt. He was arrested and charged for 6 years, and he served just over 2 of those years in jail. But he didn't stay out of trouble for long, and in 1998 he was convicted of a drug offence. But he did receive a full pardon for all of his convictions from the state of South Carolina in 2003. And apparently sang God Bless America at the pardoning.
If you want more of the best stories from the world of pop culture, don't forget to like and subscribe to Far Out magazine.